How much money do you really need to put down to start a business on Amazon? How much did you invest in courses or mentors? Did you make money through your business? Why Amazon FBA instead of Shopify, Etsy, etc.? And if you could go back and knowing everything that you know now through this experience, would you do it again? Today in this video, I'm going to be answering all the hot questions that many people have about starting an e-commerce business through Amazon. Now, the reason why I've never really talked about this until now, Happy New Year, by the way, it's because, as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I don't share things until I've actually tried it myself and tested it on my own, whether that's a course or like an investing platform. I just don't believe in, recommending or even just telling people about it until I've gone through the whole process myself and I have an honest opinion about it and given it a fair shot so that I'm confident in what I'm telling you guys. So basically my own FBA journey, it goes back to the fall of 2020, and soon you'll see why. This whole journey is pretty long and tedious, especially when you're just getting started. So I just kind of wanted to share the behind the scenes of what it's like to start this business from scratch with your own time, money, energy. It's definitely not easy. In fact, I'd say it's like pretty much the toughest thing I've done in 2021. Anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, what is Amazon FBA? So it stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, and the easiest way to explain this to you guys is if you imagine shopping at Amazon, there's a lot of products, right? And not all of them is sold by Amazon. I mean, it's sold by Amazon, but it's not actually Amazon made. It's not manufactured by them. There's a few that are Amazon branded, but most of them, it's like by third-party sellers. So basically, you can recognize big brands like NutriBullet smoothies, Hoover vacuums, but a lot of brands like this sponge mop, for example, it's a classic example of a business using Amazon FBA. See in the corner right there how it says sold by Venetio, but it ships from Amazon? So that's Amazon FBA right there. And there's basically two ways that you can sell on Amazon, FBA and FBM, which stands for Fulfilled by Merchant. That is that the seller finds a way to ship their stuff to the customer directly instead of using Amazon fulfillment services. So you don't get prime delivery, and you're basically responsible for getting the products to the customer's hands. And the next question a lot of people ask is why Amazon FBA instead of choosing to sell on Shopify, Etsy, eBay, etc. So basically, let's break it down this way. When you start an online business from scratch, the hardest part is getting traffic, right? You want people to be able to see your products so that they can actually buy them. And just look at how many Instagram pages there are and how many online shops there are. There's like a million web pages. When you're just starting out and you don't have social credibility, no reviews or anything, it's really hard for people to trust your product and to give you their money. And you just need to find a way to get in front as many people as possible so that you can make sales. And fact is, pretty much 50% of all online sales in the US happens on Amazon.com. Isn't that crazy? And they're constantly expanding to new countries and territories, billions of dollars of products. It's exchanged on Amazon every day from North America, Europe, Japan, India, etc. And the coolest thing about FBA, in my opinion, is that you can take advantage of their warehousing services. All the staff that work in their warehouses. You don't have to deal with making this website, dealing with fraud, shipping, handling all the products in the warehouse. It's very much hands-off once you get your products to them. In the fall of 2020, I bought this online course and it pretty much taught me everything I needed to know about starting this business. It's called Amazing Selling Machine. You've probably heard of it if you've done research into this already. It's a pretty popular course. It is a bit on the pricier side. When I got it, it was around $5,000. I think now they're running a promotion right now. So it's quite a good deal, I would say. I can't remember how much off it is exactly, but I think it's like 1,000 or like 2,000, I don't know. Anyways, it's a pretty good discount, so I'll put the link down below if you guys are curious. But it basically broke things down into modules, gave you like small homework assignments so you knew what to do each day, and like it's all self-paced. And then they have a community, which is like a forum where you can ask questions to some of the top sellers. There's like people who make like 7-8 figures in there, so it's just nice to have a place for you to ask questions without feeling judged, like and also know that they're reputable, like they've done well in this business, so you're not just getting random answers from random people. But basically, a course isn't technically required for you to start this business. You can just like self-teach yourself, do, you know, YouTube videos, researching online, reading the documentation. But I'm just gonna be completely honest, starting this isn't a cheap business. You're gonna have to invest a lot in like inventory, packaging, shipping, warehousing, etc. And just not having proper knowledge and guidance on this whole process, it would be very costly. So I do actually think that a course or having a mentor would definitely help, especially if you're thinking about this long term, right? And you do get lifelong access to most of these courses. You get like a bunch of videos, and I just think that for your first product, it's nice to have that sort of guidance to, you know, just even knowing how to set up your Seller Central account to start on Amazon. It's like a pretty complicated process. They do require like a bunch of documentation, and you know, just knowing like how to select your first product, how to select your supplier and everything. Like it's just pretty complicated once you get into details of it. So of course, I would say definitely helped me in that aspect. You guys are probably wondering, how much did I make from this business? So I only launched one time, right? So one thing, and I only got my initial order, which was a small order of only 500 units. It sounds like a lot, but really once you're like really doing big, people order into thousands, right? So it was just a small order just to test this out, see if this was something that, you know, I could see myself doing in the future, or if like, you know, is this all a scam or whatnot? So, you know, just wanted to test it out. So first of all, you have to find a product, right? And then they will charge an amount per unit. So my manufacturer, they charge $7 for these products, which is actually kind of high, but oh well. We pay for the quality sometimes. So $7, and then I got 500, so that is 3,500. And then at the same time, I was looking into shipping options, and shipping by sea, it was going to be around $1,000. So after shipping it, after, you know, the import fees, taxes, I'd say like probably closer to around 1,250, and then, you know, had to pay a third-party warehouse because I wasn't living in the United States at the time. So I shipped to Los Angeles, had the third-party warehouse there take care of stuff. So it was like around $300. The reason why you want to put your things into a third-party warehouse, by the way, why I chose to do that is because Amazon have limits on how many units you could send at a time. You can't just send them like a million things at the same time. So I think at the time my limit was 400, I think 400 or 450. So I couldn't send everything in at the same time. So, you know, I had to get somebody to kind of look things over and then send to them as it goes. And then paid around $300 for professional photography photos. And then once they arrived, I think just launching and advertising, that was another like $1,500. Just, you know, basically at that point, you're almost like giving away your products because you're putting so much into like the pay-per-click advertising, product advertising, like all the ads that you see on Amazon, you have to pay for those, and they're quite expensive. So I'd say not including the variable costs, just like, not including the fixed costs, just including the variable costs. I'd say, say I sold my products at an average of like $23, because I did change my price a little bit as I went, but average, let's just say 23, and the product cost itself was $7. Let's say shipping and stuff was around 1.5, and then the thing is, Amazon FBA also takes quite a bit in fees because they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, right? Like giving you this platform, Prime Day shipping, their employees in the warehouse are doing all the heavy lifting for you. So they took about like $7.50 about per product. So after that, I'd say profit-wise, like not counting all this the money I paid for like for my courses and like all that, that's like investment in my knowledge. So I don't really count that as part of my first product. So I'd say around 3,500 in profit for this first thing. So yeah, that's basically the calculations that I just came up with in my head. It's like a rough estimate, I would say. So, you know, people would probably ask, would you say the journey is worth it? Would you do it again? It's a lot of like, you know, time, energy, money spent for like a pretty marginal profit. But, you know, at the end of the day, even this journey has a bunch of ups and downs, and it's a lot bigger of an investment than I expected. I think I'd still go through it again if this was at the beginning of the year. And why? It's because I learned so much in this business in a year than 4 years of business school, to be honest. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but definitely learned way more than any business course that you would take. You know, this is actual investing real money that I earned, right? Through working part-time through school, through internships. And when you put your own money into something, you really take it a lot more seriously. It's not about grades anymore. This is actually something that you want to give it your full shot, right? And then I was basically able to apply so many things I learned from, like, you know, textbooks in real life: negotiation, marketing, accounting, finance. If you want a real business education, sometimes the best way to learn is by doing. And to be honest, the amount invested, it's still less than what I would pay just to go to school sometimes, you know? Like, if you went to business school, a lot of these courses, they're really expensive. It's not like you're actually earning profit from them. So to me, it's like, you know, even if I lost money at the end of the day, it would be like paying tuition, you know, like for a summer camp or something. The knowledge that I gained, it's something that I can keep forever, and nobody can take that away from me. If you guys are interested in learning more, I was thinking of like where I could point you. So I remember I got this book. It's called $1 Million Brand. It's actually by the authors of the course that I took, but this book, it's actually free and you can order it. I'll put the link in the description below, but yeah, I think it's a good starting point because, you know, it's free. You basically learn all about what it is about, and it even tells you like basic steps of how it works. So if you have this book, technically you could just go and run with it, even though I still think that it doesn't have, like, it's a pretty thin book, so it doesn't have all the knowledge that you need, but it gives you a pretty good overview of like all the steps. After more than a year, this is the real behind the scenes of selling on Amazon in 2021. Anyways, I wish you and your families a happy new year, all the best for 2022. Thanks for joining me along until now. If there's any other specific questions or topics you want me to cover about this business or in general, just leave them in the comments below, and stay tuned, subscribe to this channel for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.